Okay, so I will show you my tree. And then how I got here is I started with the data and I wrote all the different cells here. And then I simplified the mutations. So instead of annotating cell division as CD or anything like that, I found it really confusing and like hard to keep track of. And so I gave them all numbers. The cell division was 1, DNA repair 2, and I put it all in the key. It's right there. And then those are the numbers that actually show up on the tree as well. But so I went down the list A through H for the types of cells, and then all the mutations are given here. So I just went down and went A is 1, 2, 3, and 7. And so it says 1, 2, 3, and 7, and then I went down and did it for all of the cells. And that made it easier for me to compare them. And so going through them, I was able to see that this is really hard to do when it's on face camera. That some were very similar. So A and F were very similar. So I'll just put like a star, and then also similar was C and H. And so I'll put like an O and an O. And so those are my sister species. And so here you can see where I circled them to annotate their similarities, and then I drew them with little hoops. So I did A is closest to F and C is closest to H. And then I know my outgroup is E. So I'm gonna put this over here, kind of in the far part. So really they should all be in alignment. E is just a little low because I'm messy. And then now I like looked at the data and said, okay, which letters am I missing right now? So I have A, F, C, and H. I have A, so I crossed off F, F, C, F, E. So I'm missing G, I'm missing D, and I'm missing B. So B, D, and G. So then I just wrote B, D, and G up at the top. And I'm making sure that I'm using a pencil because I'm gonna like erase and then move them. But the idea is that because they're all, because it's gonna be over time, I want all the cells to be at the top at the end. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I have, okay, so then I look at the data and I go, okay, what cell is similar to the A and F group? And then, so I have the A and the F group. So, well, the A in the graph here is 1, 2, 3, and 7. So the most similar to that would be G. It's 1, 2, 7. So the only thing is missing is 3. And so I would draw, I'm going to move G closest to A and F. And then I'm going to hook G to A and F. And then I go to the next one, I go to D. And I say, okay, which one is D closest to? Well, D is closest to C and H because D is only missing 5 and 6. And then, okay, well, how about B? Well, B is really weird, and this one threw me off really a lot. B is kind of like a second out group, in my opinion. It's like, has some similar things, but overall it's pretty wild. So I kind of just said it's basically a second out group. The only thing it shares with all of them is it has a 1. So I then connected all of them. So you can see B is going to connect here. E doesn't have anything. It's going to come all the way below. This is really hard to do when I'm like, so like I just drew those two, and then I can mark it. So this is E, like right here, you have the trait 1 or the mutation 1. And that's where you're getting B. And then after 1, you get a mutation 2. distracted. Okay, 2, and then I think just went away. Okay, 2, and then from 2 you get the evolution of D. And then you get the evolution of the G group. So now I'm just connecting them. And actually, I'm looking at it now. So D, C, and H. You can like check it over. D, 1, 2, 4. C and H, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So then you can just like start putting in the traits and their differences on the little like lines. So the difference between C and H and D, so D is 1, 2, 4. Turn this off. C and H is gonna get a 5 and a 6, so I'm just gonna go 5, 6 right there. But after the difference between, or when you have D, you have 1, 2, and a 4, and the difference between D and G is a 4, but G got a 7. And then, so I'm writing down the traits, the differences. And then the difference between G, which is 1, 2, 7, and A and F is 3. So G, 1, 2, 7, D is 1, 2, 4. So you just like check them over, and then you should get, this is what my final tree looks like. And then, oh, not final, then I have to put the time on there. So I'm gonna draw this. I did not leave enough space by any means here, but there we go. And then you can put like a little key for people who don't understand your little system, which is totally fair. You can put cell division 1, and then you would just keep going down just like I did. There. And that is how I got my phylogenetic tree that may or may not be right.